Having some issues. Okay, I think it's on now. Okay, I think we're live now. Sorry, we just kept disconnecting. So it says that we've been on for 44 seconds, but that wasn't the case. It kept disconnecting, and I'm just checking my computer now. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Darvanalee Design Studio. Welcome to our first live tutorial. As you can see, we are still working off the mobile phone, so do bear with us while we, sort all our technology out, and it's a slow process, but we're slowly getting there. We have a better phone, so we have a better quality video now and all the rest of it. And I can see that we've got a few on here. Hi Bonnie, hi Cheryl, thank you very much for joining us. Hi Geraldine, thank you very much for joining us this morning. So you might be wondering what we're going to be working on today. Hey Rebecca, thank you very much for joining us as well. We are going to be working on this cute little pouch today. So what you're going to learn today is how to install a lace zipper if you haven't installed one already, and also how to do French seams. Now this little pouch is great for your cross stitch, and that's what I'm using mine for. So you can see in there I've got all my cross stitch stuff in there. It's super quick and super simple to put together. So hopefully some of you may have come over before we went live today, and you would have seen the requirements underneath the video. You're going to need several things today. You're going to need a lace zipper, which is what we're putting in, about 30 centimeters. Now that's what my size is, but you can use smaller ones. You just need to adjust the size of your fabric accordingly. So it's only the width that you'll need to adjust on that one. So they come in all different sizes. I think the biggest one is about 40 centimeters, but I'm working with 30 centimeters today. So you're going to need some of that. You're also going to need some exterior fabric, and that's 10.5 inches on the short edge and 20 inches on the long edge. And you're also going to need some lining of the same measurement. And you're also going to need some Shape Flex 101, which I've already fused on my lining just to save us a little bit of time. And you're also going to need some fusible fleece. Now that is a little bit fluffy, and it doesn't have to go all the way to the edge either. You can leave that out because we're French seaming. So I just used up some scraps that I had today. Alrighty, so basically if you've got any questions along the way, Becky's off to the side and she will ask them as we're going. We're just going to get stuck into it, and we're going to make this cute little pouch. So yeah, I've got my phone's going off at the moment. I've got all these notifications coming from YouTube coming across and all the rest of it. So if I get a little bit sidetracked, I do apologize for that. So you're also going to need a quilting ruler. You're going to need a rotary cutter today, maybe some scissors as well if your rotary cutter, if you don't have a rotary cutter. And you're also going to need some wonder clips, and you're going to need a zipper foot. It's not necessary. You can actually put these lace zippers on with your 1/4 inch foot, but if you find it a little bit tricky, just yeah, get your zipper foot out and you can use that. I don't worry about it personally. My machine is pretty good like that. It's got a very narrow foot, so I can actually still install these lace zippers. Alrighty, so I'm just going to tilt the camera down now, and we're going to get started. Okay, so basically all you need to do first off is you need to cut your fabrics. So I'll just move all my gear out of the way. And as I said, you need to cut them on the short edge. You need to cut that at 10.5 inches, and on your long edge it is 20 inches. Okay, so that's my lining, and this is my exterior fabric that I'm using. It's gorgeous little fabric, this. I love it. It's my favorite one on the shelf at the moment. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be using today. So I'm just going to trim off my excess. You don't want your fusible fleece, once you fuse that on, you don't want that to be coming past your exterior fabric. And I cannot believe how nervous I am doing this today.
I know, I can hear it in your voice actually.
So I am quite nervous. I don't know why. I know all you guys, you come and visit me every week on Friday, yet today I'm very, very nervous. So hopefully you can see everything okay. I'll just move my sewing machine out of the way a little bit. All right, so that's our exterior fabric, and then you're going to take your lining fabric and you're going to actually place them right sides together, so the pretty sides touching, just like that. And then you're going to grab some pins or your wonder clips, whatever you're using. I'm going to use pins, and I'm just going to pin my short edges down, and I might just flip that over. There we go. My lining is just slightly bigger because I didn't trim it down before I come on camera. I got sidetracked. Beck turned up and I got sidetracked. We started talking and that was that. We haven't seen each other for over a week, so we had a lot to catch up on. All right, I'll just trim this up. And you want to just make it the same size as your exterior fabric. I've got a bit of a sore throat this morning too.
Oh,
so cold here today. If anybody follows me on Facebook, I put a post up on my personal page today of how cold it actually is in Kingaroy. My daughter threw some water onto the windscreen, and yeah, the ice started forming again. All right, now
they're both beautiful artwork.
It is a beautiful artwork. It was done by nature. Alrighty, so we've got those two pieces of fabric right sides together. And then you're just going to grab some pins and you're going to pin your short edges on both ends of your piece. Excuse me. 3 pins should be enough. So we thought we'd just do something a little bit different. For those that are new here, we just decided that we were going to, you know, do a live tutorial for a change instead of recording it and see how it goes. And just before we went live, the guy across the road decided to get out his blower vac and start blower vacuuming his leaves off his lawn. So yeah, that was quite interesting. Alrighty, so what you're going to do now is you're going to head over to the sewing machine and you're actually going to sew on the short edge using a 1/4 inch seam allowance down both sides, reversing at the beginning and at the end, and then you're going to do the same on this side as well. So I'm going to quickly do that. If I can find the foot for my sewing machine. It's taken off again. And you want your stitch length to be about 2.5 millimeters. Is really a good size for this because you're going through the your interfacings, so it's a little bit thicker. And you do that on both ends. How's the audio sounding today, Beck?
Audio is sounding good.
Yep. So normally you don't see any of this stuff. It's all done off camera or edited out of the video. So, alrighty. Okay, so just remove your pins from both ends. And you can see there that I've just stitched a 1/4 inch seam allowance along there. And all you're going to do now is you're just going to turn that in the right way. And the reason that we've got to do this is because we actually top stitch our lace zippers in. Alrighty, so if you've got an iron and an ironing pad, or head over to the ironing board and you just press that down. You just want to make sure that you get your seam to come out so you've got a nice edge like that. All right, and give that a really good press. Beck, could you just pass me my clapper, please? Awesome. And I also like to use my clapper for this. It's not necessary, but it's just a habit that I've got into. And you can see there that I've got a nice crisp edge. And you repeat that for the other end. Alright, so that's that in place. Alrighty, so we've got both our short ends are now got a nice neat clean seam, and what we do is we get our zipper And because we're top stitching these in, we actually just place that on top. And then you just grab a couple of pins and pin it in place. And I'll turn it around so you can see what I've actually done. So you can see there, I'm just putting a couple of pins in. All the way along. Actually, I might just move that along a little bit further. So when you place it, just a note, on this end you've got a little zipper stop. Just make sure that that's actually off the exterior fabric so we can get rid of that. Okay, so it's about an inch off the edge of the fabric just there, and then pin that into place. And you want to make sure that your fabric doesn't go to up near your zipper teeth as well, because you want to be able to still open up the zipper. All right, so that's all pinned into place now. All right, so if I flip that over, you can see that that is probably about 2 millimeters away from the zipper teeth. So if I open that up at this end, because the pins are there, so you won't be able to open it all the way up, you can see there that it is about 2 millimeters away from the zipper teeth. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is we're going to head over to the sewing machine and just fix that one up again. Okay, going to head over to the sewing machine, and you're just going to top stitch down using the same stitch length that you used for the seam allowances, and just basically top stitch down. Now what I like to do, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this on camera, when I sew these zippers in, those top two, so if I turn it around to you, so the top two holes in the lace closest to the zipper teeth, that's where I like to aim for my needle to stitch along there. And I know that that's going to grab it on the back, and it's also going to grab it on the front, and I'm not going to have any problems with it staying on, because it is just top stitched in, and it is pretty hard to see what's going on behind it, because you're actually top stitching on the top part here. I'm not flipping it over or anything like that. So now I've got that all secure in. So I'm going to head to the sewing machine, and I'm just going to stitch that down. So at this point you want to put your zipper foot on, or you can leave your 1/4 inch on if you've got a narrow one. Okay, so you can remove your pins once you've done that. And you can see there that that's now sewn in place, and it opens up perfectly. There we go. So now what we need to do is we need to add the other side to the zipper to the other short end. Yep.
Bonnie and Geraldine have said they've been using Wonder Tape to hold their zippers. Yes,
you can use Wonder Tape. The only issue with the lace zip that I have found with the Wonder Tape is that it you have to wash your pouch to get rid of it, and you get some of that stickiness come through the holes.
Oh.
So I tend not to use it with these particular lace zips, but that's just a personal preference. I mean, that is totally a personal preference, so that's entirely up to you. So now what we need to do is we need to add the zipper to the other end. So basically I just bring it down and I line my edges up, and at this point it doesn't matter where you're going to place the zipper on your pouch. So you just want to make sure that your exterior fabric is lining up on this side and also on this side, and then just pop a couple of pins in again. And when we go to sew it, we're going to open the zip up, and that will give it a lot more access to sew it down. Now, I've never been a huge fan of that Wonder Tape. I've had more issues with it than not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't use it for ever for lace zippers, because I've had more problems with it than anything else.
Yep. Well, Bonnie said she's been using it on the candy pouches.
Candy pouches. Is that a So Sweetness one? Yeah, let me know when she answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said wouldn't work well on the lace.
No, it doesn't work well on the lace at all. However, you can, and it's probably not a bad thing to do. So when you see with these lace zippers here, okay, there's, ow, that's a sharp pin and it got me twice. So see between the two flowers, this particular one here, you could probably put a little bit of the Roxanne's dab, what is it, Dot and Dab, the smaller one.
Oh, the smaller one?
You could probably use a bit of this in that place between the lace flower, like the flowers on the lace, so because it wouldn't come through there. But you still have to be pretty careful, because you'd have to press that in place. So you'd have to be careful that you don't get the teeth on that. So that you'd have to be very aware of that. Alrighty, so I'm just going to get this all into place. And this is, to be honest, this is probably the most pins that I've used on a lace zipper.
Going a bit Beck style.
I'm doing a Beck style this morning because I'm nervous. I don't want to wreck it. Oh my goodness. Like, I know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm nervous this morning. It's just unbelievable. Like, I suppose it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on camera, and, you know, it always gets a little bit nerve-wracking when you first go on camera. Even on a Friday morning when I'm on, I get a little bit nervous beforehand. But then you guys make me feel super welcome, and yeah. So if you're looking for the fabric, Bonnie, it is on our website. It's so cute. Like, it's got these cute little strawberries on it and little flowers. Like, how gorgeous is that? I'll show you the right way, it might be nicer. And it's got like little dark blue navy flowers on it as well, so it's super cute. It's one of my favorites at the moment on the shelf. Alrighty, so we've now pinned that all into place. So what you're going to do is open up your zipper all the way to the end. You'll have to probably move your pins out of the way as you're going along. And what you're going to do is, I find it easier to start at this end up here, and you're going to stitch right along like you did for the other side. And it can be a little bit of a mission, and I'll just move the camera so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so all I do is I just start from this end, and as you can see, my 1/4 inch foot, I don't know if you can see that or not, just turn my machine a little bit better. My 1/4 inch foot's quite narrow, and I don't know how to get it a bit closer. Maybe next time, I don't know. Anyway. So then I'm going to stitch again in those top little holes of the lace, and we just go straight along. Now, just make sure that you move your bag out of the way, the bottom part of your bag, so you can see there that it was under like this, and I've just moved that out of the way. Okay. Keep your needle in a down position if you find that you have a problem with it moving or anything like that. And all I'm going to do is just continue going along. Take it nice and easy, because it can get a little bit tricky. And I know that you should remove your pins as you're going, but with these lace zippers, I don't remove them, because I find that I've had more issues than anything else with that sort of stuff. Alrighty, and I just come all the way up. And just take it nice and slow as I'm coming up to the zipper pull. And get it to play with me nicely this morning. It's being a bit temperamental. There we go. And I go as far as I can go. And just do a little bit of a reverse. can hear Beck typing away frantically. Alrighty, and so our zipper is now in. So I'll just bring the camera back again. There we go. Alrighty, so it's all in. You can take your pins out now. And this is a really good time to test to see if your zipper works as well. So who have we got joining us this morning? I see there's a few people on.
Yeah, we've got Bonnie and Geraldine.
Yep.
We've got...
Seen a couple of new names there earlier on.
Yeah, we've got Cheryl.
Heyman.
Linda.
Is it Cheryl Heyman?
Yes, that's
Yep.
Cheryl.
Oh, hey Cheryl, how you going?
Linda Kennedy.
Hey Linda. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody.
We've got Susan Bartlett, Rebecca James.
Oh, everybody's on today.
And we've
Awesome.
got Vera Saccone,
Yep.
I think, from Germany.
Oh, hello Germany. Hey Vera, how you going? Thank you very much for joining us. I don't think you've been here before, so
No.
welcome.
And we've got Lisa Ottman.
Hi Lisa, how you going?
Lisa's actually asked, what kind of a bag are you making?
We are making a little zipper pouch, project pouch, okay, so it's got a lace zip in it and it's just a very basic one. So today I'm just going to show you how to put a lace zip in and also how to do a French seam. So that is the little pouch that we've got. Alrighty, so we've just attached our lace zipper, so you can see there that we've top stitched that in, and I'll just get all the threads out of the way. Believe me, get the threads out of the way. It can be very problematic if you don't. Alrighty, so that should be working just nicely. It's opening and closing really well, so I'm really happy with how that's gone in. Now what we need to do is we're just going to close our zip, and on the end of the zip that has the stopper on it, we're going to remove that. Okay. So making sure our lining and everything is lining up properly, and we can trim everything up. So all I'm going to do is grab my rotary cutter and my ruler, and then I'm just going to line that up. I have a bigger rotary cutter. I don't know where my pink one is. Yeah, thank you. My pink one up there.
No, not that I can see.
All right. Okay, so that is now all nice and even. We've got rid of that stopper. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a quick press. Avoiding the zipper. And before we sew it down, we want to have up here about 2 inches. It's not a hard and fast rule. You can have it a little bit bigger. If you want the zipper in the middle of the pouch, you just move it down to where you want it. So if you want it in the middle of the pouch, you can have it there. If you only want a 1 inch, you can move it right up to the top. But I like to have about 2 inches, and that's what it looks like with the 2 inches. And all I do is just grab my ruler and I place the 2 inch mark on here on the top of the lace of the zipper. So you can see here that that's gone above, so I can just roll that up a little bit more. And I think Beck's actually going to find the link for where the fabric is. Yep.
Yeah,
awesome.
I've just found it.
Yep. Okay, so just come down just a little bit more, and that'll be at 2 inches. Alrighty, so I'm pretty happy where that's sitting right now, and I just moved the ruler along the zipper to make sure, and then I'll just grab a wonder clip and place that in place up the top here on both ends, and one in the middle as well. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep that 2 inch part of the fabric in place, and it's not going to move when I'm sewing it or anything like that. And then on this side, I'm just going to grab a couple of wonder clips again and just put 2 in. And we're actually going to sew 1/8 of an inch along this edge. Okay, so I'll move the camera again so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry, it's just the one. Now it's really important that you only do 1/8 of an inch along here, because what will happen when we do our French seam, we'll do a little bit bigger a little bit bigger seam allowance, and that'll all encase it in. Make sure that you do a back stitch. And if your machine is struggling to get through the layers, you can up your stitch length to about a 2.9, maybe a 3 millimeter stitch length, and you'll probably find that you'll have a little bit more success with that. I also like to do a little bit of a reverse as well over the zip. Just my personal preference, just adds a little bit more security. And reversing at the end. Okay. So trim off all your threads, and I'll just bring this back again. Sorry people if I'm making you a little bit ill today. Alrighty, so I've just done an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance along there. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the other side, and we're going to take our zipper pull, and we're going to put it about 3/4 of the way in. Then I'm going to just trim this up. Just need to grab that long ruler behind you.
This one?
Yep, that one. Thank you. Go. Alright, we get rid of all our excess little bits and pieces. Sometimes the fabric for the lining might shift a little bit, as it did just then on me. Okay, I'm going to, making sure that my my zipper pull is in the middle, I'm actually just going to put a wonder clip here to hold the zip, and then I'm going to give this end a press, and then we'll head over to the sewing machine again, and we'll do an 1/8 of an inch seam. All right. Remembering to do a back stitch at the beginning and at the end, and just as I said, my personal preference is actually to just do a little bit of a I go over the zip a couple of times. Pinching the zipper together is really key as well. That way you won't get a gap. Can't you find it?
Oh, I found the link, but I keep putting it in the comments, but it's saying there's an error, so I'm just doing it from my end.
Yep.
I'm improvising.
Oh, cool. Technology sometimes just is not your friend. Doesn't like to play. Alrighty, snip off your threads. Alright, so you can see there that we've done that, and the zipper now won't go off or anything like that. You're pretty good to go now. You won't lose your zipper pull or anything like that. We're safe. We can move it around now. So you can see that it is working nicely. I'll just measure again to make sure that it is 2 inches, and it is. It hasn't moved on me at all. Okay, so now what you can do is actually give that a really good press, and then we can turn it out. And it seems a little bit weird because we're sewing this backwards. So we're actually doing a French seam today. So this is so you don't have to worry about doing a lining or anything like that and inserting it in and having extra pieces. This just makes it a super quick and easy, simple project to do. So we've given that a really good press, and now what we're going to do is we're going to open our zipper up probably about 3/4 of the way. I like to just take a little bit off these top corners here, so you can see there I'm not taking much at all, not going through the stitching that I've done. It just helps when you push it through. And Beck just done a fist pump, so I'm guessing she has success.
Yes, where there's a will, there's a way.
Awesome. Alrighty, so just get rid of some of this excess stuff here. Get rid of that. Alrighty, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this inside out. So like you do with anything else, just open up the zip, put your hand in and pull it all out. I know this seems very weird. Some people who have not done French seams before might be going, oh my god, I've never seen this done before. What is going on?
Okay. I'm looking now.
That's all right. You can watch the replay.
Oh yeah, I'll have to watch the replay.
Yeah. So this, for those that are joining us today, this will be on our channel, so you can go back and watch the replay at any given time. Okay. So. Okay. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to poke our corners out. I like to give them a really good. Use your end of your scissors. It's not my favourite tool to use, but I can't find my chopsticks anywhere. I think they might be behind you, Beck. Can you just have a look in the diamond painting stuff if my chopsticks are up there?
Oh,
yep.
How many?
Just one. Just one.
There you go.
So my local Chinese restaurant actually has these chopsticks, and they're quite pointed at the end, so you can see there. So I just keep them. They're just these little bamboo ones, and I have them in a little pouch over there that I use for diamond painting, and they're great for poking the corners out without damaging it. Alrighty, so at this point I make sure that all my fabric inside is laying smooth and the seams are pushed out. So you can see there my seams are pushed out like so. Okay, take a little time on this point because it'll just make it for easier sewing of the French seams. Alright, so give that a press. How are we going? How many we got on with us today?
We've got 15 watching at the moment.
Awesome. Wanda's smart. I've not seen her yet.
No, I haven't seen Wanda.
No. So give that a really good press. Make sure that everything is pushed out and in place. And then what you're going to do is you're going to head over to the sewing machine again, and you're actually going to sew down this side here, but you're actually going to do 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And what that will do is encase that seam on the outside, so you'll get a nice smooth edge like you've got here. And you don't need to top stitch or anything like that. Alrighty.
Rebecca James has a question.
Yep.
Have you ever made a knapsack called Out and About? It's by Annie Patterns.
No, I don't actually make many Annie patterns.
Because Rebecca said she's having a heck of a time with it.
That's why I don't do many of Annie's patterns. But what are you having problems with, hun? I don't know the pattern directly, or I might. If I saw a picture, I'd probably know which one it was. But yeah. I don't do many of Annie's patterns. I've never been a fan, to be honest. I know that's terrible, but I've just never been a fan. But I might be able to talk you through whatever your problem is, so if you let me know. Alright, so now what we're going to do, as I said, we're going to do a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And what you're trying to do is you want to make sure that your seam allowance is big enough that it's encasing that seam, that outer seam that we've got out there. So that's what a French seam is. Basically, it's just encasing the raw edges. Alrighty, so when you come up to the zip, just pinch them together so you get a nice, you don't get a gap at the end. And also don't forget to do your back stitch at the beginning and at the end. So you can see there that I've just done that, and everything is, there's no raw edges on the inside and there'll be no raw edges on the outside. So just spin that around to the other side and do the same thing again. Making sure that you do your back stitch at the beginning at the end. What's up?
Bonita has joined us now.
Hi Bonita, how are you going? And just take it slow when you're going across the zip. You can do a little bit of a back tack across the zip as well if you want that added security. All right. So we've done our 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. So I'll just bring that around, and you can see there that it's all together. And now all we need to do is turn that in the right way. Push your corners out as well. Get that chopstick in there and give it a good poking into the corners.
Take out some frustration.
Yeah, yes. Yes, we all know about the poking and the frustrations. We haven't finished, for those that might be wondering, we haven't finished our felt animals. We've been super busy. My 2-week break ended up turning into a mammoth non-break. I ended up doing a road trip of 1,000 kilometers with my husband for his channel. I've done quilting. I've done Finish It Friday stuff. I didn't have a break at all. The children didn't want to have anything to do with me, so I just thought, well, fine, also.
And we did stock take.
Yes, and we did stock take for the first week. Alrighty, so you can see there that is all sewn together. You've got nice clean edges here. There's no need to top stitch. You can just leave it as it is. And as I said, you've got no raw edges on the inside. It's all encased, and no raw edges on the outside. It's a little bit different. You're sewing it the reverse way that you would normally sew it. Our zipper works beautifully, and this one's actually going to Beck because I sewed the zip in for a left-handed person. She didn't even notice. Oh. So I've got my little pouch, which you can see here. If I turn them around, the zipper ends I've got it a different way. So this one here is my one, and it's a right-handed one, so it opens from left to right. And for Beck, I've just done the left-handed side, and it opens from the right to the left. She never notices when I do stuff like that.
No, I don't.
All right, so now what you want to do is you want to give that a really good press, and that's it. That is your little project bag. You can use that for cross stitch. You can use it for any sort of project, really, any sort of hand stitching. Yeah. I've got another one that I use for my English paper piecing, and I just chuck all my stuff in there. This size here actually fits a decent size amount of stuff in it. So you can see here I've got my paperwork for the little pin cushion that I'm making, and then I've got all my bits and pieces in there. So I've got my little hoop, and I think there's scissors in here. They've got my needles, so you can fit quite a bit in there. I've got some extra Aida cloth, pair of scissors, and everything I need for that particular project is all in one place. I can just grab it, throw it in my handbag, and off I go. Alrighty, so that is the little pouch. All right, I'm just going to turn the camera back up so you can see me. Well, there you go. So hopefully I can see a few of these being shared over in our Facebook group. Super quick and easy to make. As you've seen, it only took us, what was it, 35 minutes we've been on, 38 minutes. So it didn't take very long at all. So yeah, give it a go and tell me what you thought, and leave us a comment and tell us what you thought about the live tutorial. Do you like them live? Would you prefer them recorded? We'd really like to know. We just wanted to do something a little bit different, and if you did like this video today, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends across the social media, and if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure that you subscribed, and that way you won't miss out on any future posts. Susan's saying she loves it. Elizabeth, thank you very much for joining us. She says she loves it as well. Yeah, they're cute little projects. The next time I make another pouch like this, I'll actually show you how to do it with a normal zipper so you can make them bigger. I've got another cross stitch project that's just come in, and it's about this big. It's probably twice the size that I need. So I'll be able to show you how to do it with a normal zipper as well. And yes, you can do it with vinyl as well. I can show you how to do that in another video at a later date. I've got a few things planned for our live streaming ones. All different projects, just quickie projects. We'll be online for about 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So if anybody's got any more questions, just drop them into the comments now.
Cheryl asked what the lining was called because she wants to order some.
The lining on my website is the Emma Louise fabric. So they're just a plain, you can use homespun or anything like that.
Yep.
Also the interfacing that I used on the lining is Pellon Shape Flex 101, and I believe that's listed on our website as
Yep.
well.
Well, I said we'd put the links in the
Yeah.
description.
Yeah, we'll put all the links in. As I said, I haven't seen Beck for over a week, and I've been super busy, so yeah, we didn't get everything done before we went live this morning, but we really do hope that you enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll see more of you again on Friday when we come in for our Finish It Friday, which I don't think I'm going to get done, but anyway, I'll give it a red hot go. We'll see how I go. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me today, everybody. I really do appreciate you coming along for the 40 minutes, and I hope to see some of your projects over on Stitch Talk or on our Facebook group. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.